Welcome to the Loading Up Podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Brother Zay, and tonight we have with us Producer Jay. What's going on, Producer Jay?
What's up, man? How you been?
I've been working, all right?
Working.
Slaving.
I feel you, though.
Before we get into the shenanigans of tonight, I just want to say thank you to our listeners for listening to our shenanigans every week. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It is free to do. It's the least we can do here on the podcast so we can continue to bring you these awesome shows that we do here. And don't forget to click the link in the description below to support our sponsors, W Energy, NordVPN, and Starforge Systems. W Energy, use code LUP at checkout. All right. What's going on, Producer Jay? Talk to me. What have you been playing? Because I seen you on stream.
Yes. So if you're listening to this as it's uploaded, I was streaming yesterday. I just spontaneous. I didn't plan on anything. I just felt like it because I know I've been lacking on the streams. I literally said on the podcast that I was going to stream every weekend in October. And I didn't do any streams in October. So I wanted to kind of get into it and, play something different. I was going to play Resident Evil 4 again, but I was like, you know what? I want to play something different. But I do want to play a scary game because I feel like I like playing scary games. Like, just because I like being scared. I don't know. I'm weird. But
yeah, you are.
But so I was looking through like what games I had, and then I happened to come up. It's weird because I was and don't judge me. I was looking through the Xbox Black Friday sales.
Oh no!
I didn't buy anything. At least I didn't buy anything for me. I bought a game for my kids actually.
Yeah.
I bought them Castle Crashers.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, because my oldest son, he's been really into Cuphead. He actually beat it,
He beat Cuphead?
Yes, he beat it and the DLC.
Your son's a legend.
And I told him, I was like, I couldn't even do this. So, and he was really proud of it. So I was like, I started looking into other games that he might be into, that are kind of like this. And I just so happened to come across that Castle Crashers was on sale. It was only $7, and I was like, why not? He just finished Cuphead. He's probably looking for another game, and I know he plays Roblox a lot. So, but I was like, you know what? I want him to play actual games. Not to say that Roblox is not an actual.
Wow, the shade.
But a traditional game. So So I saw Castle Crashers. I bought it, and then he and my youngest son, they were playing together and they were getting really into it. So I was like, I did good. So, but anyway, as I was scrolling, I saw The Evil Within was on sale, and I was just like, oh, it's on Game Pass, and I also have it. So I was like, let me just play it, and I just played it because I never actually got to play through past the first part. So if you go back and watch the live stream, which should be up by the time you're listening to this on YouTube or on Twitch, you can watch the replay. I got past the part where I didn't get past. So it's a really good game, and honestly, I don't know why I didn't finish it. It seems right up my alley. It feels like I would have been the one to follow through and go through and play through everything else. But
just life, man.
Yeah, I mean, it came out freaking literally a decade ago. So I was in a different place completely back then. So anyway, so I was playing that, and I did it on live stream. But as we were talking before we started, I have been playing a lot of Call of Duty, Black Ops 6 specifically, obviously. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I just got really into it, and I was getting kills, I was getting the best plays for the first time. I feel like I haven't gotten those because every time I play with you guys, it's always Brother Matt that's getting them.
Super sweaty.
Yo,
you play with us, and it's gonna be super sweaty,
right? So so I was actually doing pretty good, and I'm actually making some progress. Honestly, like I so in the old Call of Duty games, like it's pretty similar where you got to get the headshots to get the camos and stuff like that. And I honestly never really like did that because I don't know, I was just never like focused on that stuff. Like the highest I ever got, I think, was in Call of Duty. It was either Modern Warfare or Modern Warfare 2. One of those. I can't remember which one. But I got the blue tiger camo, with the blue stripes. That was like the highest I ever got for any gun, and I think it was for the I think it was the G36 or the ACR, one of those, because it was Modern Warfare too. So I think it was one of those. I can't remember. So yeah, that was like the highest I ever got. I never got gold. I never like did anything like that or got any of the special camos. But in Black Ops 6, like I don't know, maybe they made it easier or whatever, but like I'm literally right about to get like golden for the first weapon, the MP4, which I mean that's like the first gun you get, but still, like I've never gotten gold before, so it's like it's kind of it's a personal accomplishment to actually be able to get a gold gun in a Call of Duty game for the first time. But
Yep.
go ahead.
Such a stark difference from like me and Brother Matt. Like Brother Matt's got diamond ARs,
Yeah, no, I mean
diamond
that's
subs, and I'm like I'm pushing on gold guns too. I like doing that because it gives me a reason to continue playing other than just playing for fun. Like I get to do something. It's an objective for me, you know.
right, yeah.
So I understand it, and it is really cool, especially when you're unlocking gun camos, and you're just like, man, this camo looks good. I'm gonna put it on, you know.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, granted, I've never really been like super into Call of Duty for the longest time. Like like I said, it's since the original Modern Warfare 2 that's like I never really played it like that. So it's actually fun to like get back into it. But in addition to Call of Duty, I do want to mention, and I actually want to thank you because I did finally finish Dungeons of Hinterberg.
Nice.
That was my my mobile game on my ROG Ally that I've been playing at work and stuff like that. So I finally finished it. It's a great game, honestly. I feel like if you're looking for something like that's relatively simple, it's like I call it a micro RPG because it's like it's an RPG, but it's like it's not too complex. Like everything is pretty much like laid out for you. But it gives you that sense that you're actually progressing and actually making a difference in like the world around you and stuff like that. So I do recommend everybody try it. It's on Game Pass. So definitely check it out. But now that I finished that, I did get into my next game, which you actually gifted for me, which is The Plucky Squire. And this is a game that I've been looking forward to for so long. And it is literally exactly what I wanted from it. Like everything from like in the trailers that you look at it, it's like it's what I said it was when we talked about it like a few episodes ago, where it's like an homage to classic games. Like it starts out as like a Zelda clone, like a classic Zelda clone, where you're like top down and stuff like that. You walk around and stuff, but it's like on a storybook. So it's like really cool, and that when you go to new areas, the book flips to the next page, and there's even like there's a part where I mean this is like right in the beginning, so it's not really a spoiler. So there's a part where like when you get to like I guess it's a boss. Like I don't know, I don't think it is because it was really easy, but like right in the beginning you fight like a boss type character where it actually turns into like a punch out type game where you gotta dodge and punch and like do like that. So like it's oddly fitting because the freaking Mike Tyson Logan Paul Jake Paul fight just happened. So it was funny. It was just how everything played out. But I'm really loving the game right now, and I do want to thank you very much for gifting it to me, because I mean I would have bought it myself, but it's nice that you got it for me.
I'm that's my thing. I like to gift people things, you know. I don't like to receive gifts. I'm weird.
I'm the same way. I'm a terrible gift receiver, but I'll give a gift like nothing.
Yeah, Exactly. So you're very welcome, and I hope you continue playing and enjoying it, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, I will definitely continue playing and I will update you as I progress.
Awesome.
But what have you been playing actually?
So you can see if you're watching on YouTube, I've been playing Spyro because that dropped on Game Pass.
Yes.
The trilogy remake, it dropped on Game Pass. It's actually on sale if you want to purchase it. It's like I think it's like 40% off. So it's like $25 on the Black Friday sale that Xbox is doing. So I've been playing I started playing on the PC, and then I was decided to start playing on the Xbox, and I realized it's also must be a play anywhere title because I was like, oh look, I can pick up my save. So I was able to seamlessly go from PC to Xbox and just sit back and enjoy the game. It was really fun. I really like. I had to get used to the controls a little bit. So you see me in the beginning, squirming around.
Yeah.
I'm like getting hit and stuff. Gotta bring the old muscle memory back from when we played it a long time ago.
Yeah.
But it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I remember I played the original on like the PS1 and stuff, and
Yeah.
and you know what? I do want to mention like you talked about like the play anywhere and stuff. Like it really is like such a luxury that Xbox has, where certain games have like the play anywhere, where you can go from PC to Xbox to handheld to cloud, and
Yep.
everything is the same. Like you can just pick up where you left off
Yep.
because what I mentioned that I was playing the Evil Within, that is not a play anywhere title. So like I actually messaged you guys in the group chat about which one I wanted to play because I'm not able to go and play like the Xbox version after I play the PC
Oh.
version. Yeah, I think it's a thing with Bethesda titles where they just don't like for whatever. I guess maybe it's like something with their systems and stuff like that. Like they just never crossed over. So like they don't. There, it's not play anywhere. Even though it's Xbox and it's on a Game Pass and stuff, it's just not play anywhere.
I didn't know that. I was wondering why you asked that.
That's why I asked that. So like, if I were to continue, I would have to continue like because you told me to play on PC, so I played on PC.
Yeah,
So I would have to continue on PC if I want to like continue where I left off. Like
I
that's
see.
the only downfall of like seemingly like Bethesda titles. I mean, I think it's like older Bethesda games because
Yeah, it has
obviously
to be because like Starfield is play anywhere.
right. So I think yeah, for older things, I don't know if they're gonna update it. I doubt it. I mean, at this point, but yeah, it really is such a good thing like play anywhere and cross saves and stuff like that. It's like this is what I like about the Xbox ecosystem and why I enjoy it so much because it's just so easily like seamless. Like there's no like you don't got to think about it. You just play wherever you are and then your stuff is there. So,
I'm so glad you brought this up because I was talking to a coworker of mine, who was contemplating getting the PS5 Pro, and I told him, well, why don't you just trade in your PS5 and then make it cheaper? He's, oh yeah, I could do that. And then he was like, oh wait, but what about my games? And I'm like, oh, that's right. The PlayStation, you have to like hook it up together and download
yes.
across like the internet, everything. Meanwhile, you open up a brand new Xbox, whether it's a Series X or a Series S, it literally tells you take out your phone, put in this code, boom, you're there, you're
Yeah.
in, it's
I
done.
forgot
It
about
takes
that actually. Yeah.
seconds to
Yeah.
like set up an Xbox. Meanwhile, on a PlayStation, oh wait, I need to download the same software and then upload for hours across your Wi-Fi network. It's so terrible. I was like, that's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So like, that's a very consumer-friendly thing that I also love about Xbox.
Yeah, no, I didn't even think about that. That's true. Like I remember doing that when I got the PS5. I had to literally wait hours just to transfer things over because it's not seamless. Like you gotta
I'll be
manually do it.
I'll be
Or
perfectly honest with you. I didn't even do it for my PS5.
you didn't even do it, you just started
I
all
didn't do it.
over.
I started all over. I just loaded my account, started all over, whatever. Because it's just too ridiculous. I gotta have them both
Yeah.
on sitting next to each other. It's like, what is this? 2010? I'm not transferring data on a phone here. Come on now.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. And the only way to circumvent that is to pay for PS Plus and get the cloud saves. And that's the only way that you can get around that. So you have to pay
So
for it, essentially.
So terrible.
Yeah, it's really not user intuitive at all, but and
Yeah,
I guess it works for them, but
it doesn't. No, I'm just- no, yeah. So besides Spyro that I've been playing, I've also been playing a lot of Call of Duty. If I have time, I'll jump onto Call of Duty, as well as trying to finish up my evil playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3, which I'm in Act 3, and it's
oh,
going.
really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because I got the mods on, so it's a little bit,
All right, yeah.
seamless. Because I beat the game already twice. I don't need to play a full honor mode, with special things. I'm just playing at my leisure, going through my evil playthrough, killing absolutely everybody. And it is a wonderful time. So I'm in Act 3, almost done with that. And yeah, that's what I've been playing. That's what I've been playing.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess we'll jump right into news because we got a few things to talk about this week. A lot of Xbox news because Xbox came out with a brand new ad campaign called "This is an Xbox," and it is like 30-second ad where they literally show a whole bunch of different devices between an actual Xbox and laptops and Asus ROG Allies, your phone. They show people using the phones on like the backbone, people using the phones with the controller. They show a whole bunch of different range of items, and they're saying this is an Xbox. Seamlessly saying that you don't really need to buy an Xbox to be part of that ecosystem as long as you're, I guess, part of Game Pass. You can have everything, the same things that we all have as Xbox owners. And let me see, Bruce J, what do you think of this ad? What do you think of this new ad campaign that they're going with?
So this has been something that Xbox has been saying for years. They just never had like an ad campaign for it. They've been advertising individually, like, oh, the Game Pass on TVs and on cloud and on your phone and on consoles, on PC, and like everywhere. Like that's what literally we were just talking about. Play anywhere, Xbox Play Anywhere. Like that's what that means. Like you can play it anywhere. So this is essentially them like kind of putting full force into the zeitgeist that Xbox is everywhere. Everything is an Xbox. And I honestly like, I mean, I don't, it's not that I'm like, oh, I love this. And I get it. It makes sense. This is what they've been wanting to do. And they're getting the message across. It doesn't really affect me because I already know this stuff. But apparently, a bunch of people just forgot that Xbox is trying to expand. They're expanding to cloud. They're expanding to PC. They're expanding to mobile. They're expanding to handhelds. There's rumors that they're gonna make their own handheld. So it's like, I don't understand what the outrage is for because this has been their mantra for years. Like, this should come to no surprise. And people are like making fun of it and say, oh, this is actually, they have a picture of a PlayStation, say this is an Xbox and blah, blah, blah. Or, you know, all these memes and stuff like that. Meanwhile, they're not realizing that they're actually helping Xbox in this case because they're making it known that this ad campaign is existing to people who would probably be unaware of this stuff. Because I even, not too long ago, I was talking to my brother about Call of Duty because he's not really, I mean, he's still like, he plays games and stuff, but you know, he's in school, he's got work and stuff like that. So he hasn't really had that much time. So I was talking to him about Call of Duty. I was like, oh, they added it to Game Pass. And he was just like, oh, for real? Like, had no idea. And I was like, yeah, you could just play it on your PC or you could play it on your phone or in the cloud and stuff like that. He's like, oh, you serious? And I was like, yes, like this is how it is now. Like but that's the thing. Like there's people who don't realize that they can access Xbox games and other games, not just from Xbox, but other games too, wherever you are. So it's like, this is nothing but beneficial. So I don't understand why people are so upset about it. Because I think it's because, and I think Phil Spencer said this I think it was in the Kind of Funny interview after the Redfall debacle stuff, where
Yeah.
he basically laid it out. He's like, a lot of people want us to be the green version of what the blue guys are doing. Essentially, like they want
They
Xbox
want
to
them
do
to be
what
PlayStation.
yeah, they want to do what PlayStation does. Because for the longest time, PlayStation has been on top. They've been number one. They've been the market leader. But that's not necessarily how the business grows. Like, just because PlayStation has been doing this for the past 20 years doesn't mean that it can't change. Like, obviously, things change. Like, nothing ever stays the same. This goes for everything, not just gaming, but that's how growth happens, change. So the fact that Xbox is changing the game essentially, people are just upset about it. They want them to do what PlayStation does and do it better. But it's like, no, they don't have to do it that way. They can do it their own way and make it better for us because like I said, I can access, like if I wanted to play well, not Evil Within, but like certain games. There's a lot of games that are on there that are on Game Pass or that I own that are able to play on every device, even through cloud. And even just I think I don't know if they're still gonna launch this month. They said it was gonna be this month that they're gonna allow games that you bought on the console to be playable on cloud.
Yeah, that's this month.
Yeah, they never really gave an announced date, but hopefully it's gonna be sometime within the next couple weeks because that's the rest of the month. But yeah, eventually we're gonna be able to play the games that we own on cloud. So like, I mean, it won't be every game at launch because they're gonna roll things out. But the fact that I'll be able to play them is progress. Like this is what the future is: being able to play whatever you want, whenever you want. Like if you think about it, like in the Netflix sense and stuff like that, Netflix is everywhere. Netflix is on your freaking fridge if you want it to be. Like and the fact that I can watch anything that I want whenever I want. Like literally last night with the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight, I started on my phone because I wanted to see like all the preliminary fights, like when it was gonna start, like the actual fight, and then I switched to my Xbox and I watched it on there. Same concept. Like I think just people just don't realize the
Value.
the value and how convenient it really is. And it's going to take some time to get people used to that because I mean, I know even for Netflix it took a lot of people or a lot of time for people to realize how good of a thing it really is. And that's why a bunch of other streaming services started doing it, like Disney and Amazon. I mean, Amazon was kind of early too, but yeah, like Disney and Peacock and whatever. Yeah, it's all about convenience, and it's probably the most consumer friendly thing that you could possibly invest in, and I don't see anything wrong with that.
Definitely not. I think the more places and the more devices you have, people are not always at home playing a game. People have lives, people have jobs. If you can literally pull out your phone, open up the Game Pass app, and start playing your games directly where you are, where you left off, and just continue to play. If you have, let's say, 10-20 minutes in between a meeting or something, or let's say you have a 30-minute break or an hour break, just pull out your phone or pull out your ROG Ally, open up your laptop. It's just more opportunities and chances for everyday people to get a little gaming in, without having to sit at home or be home playing the game or your PC.
Right.
It's just more opportunities to game, and that's where the future is going to. We're not looking at sales any longer. We're looking at monthly active users. We're looking at people engaging within the community. We're looking at how much people are spending on DLCs and stuff like that. Things are different now. It's not the 90s. People have to start looking ahead, and I think that's what Xbox is doing with this. They want to show people this is what we're doing. We're looking ahead. This is the way we're going, and this is the way it could be for everybody.
Yeah.
And we see that not only with this, but PlayStation's doing it too.
Yeah.
PlayStation, you can play games. You can play some PlayStation games on the Switch. You can play PlayStation games on the PC, on the PlayStation, on the Portal. There are so many different ways you can play on the Backbone. You know, there's so many different ways you can play games from your PlayStation. It's not just the PlayStation console itself. So they're maybe a little bit behind the curve because Xbox has been doing this, like you said, for some time now. They're catching up. You know, this is the way the future of gaming is going. You know, not everything's going to be that one big box. Sure, we'll still have the box, but there's other options out there.
Exactly. And I think, and I saw somebody mention, and they made a really good point. I mean, I didn't really know this, but so in terms of like business strategy, like Microsoft likes to be sometimes too early to the party, to the point where like they seem like they're just doing stuff like randomly. But in reality, like they're a data driven company. So they look at trends and stuff like that, and they see where things are headed, and they try to be ahead of the curve. But I think their fault is that they're too ahead, to the point where it's like some people are just not ready for it. Like if you look at when they announced the Xbox One, like they were talking about the online DRM and the family share plan and stuff like that. Like literally, like all this stuff that they were talking about, it's here. Like we're experiencing now. Like a lot of games require you to be online now, and the family share. I mean, it's not here yet, but it's Game Pass is gonna have a family plan where it's essentially gonna be that. I mean, Game Pass was just like the stepping stone, and even with like the streaming stuff, like remember when they bought I think it was Beam, and they turned it into Mixer. Like they were trying to get into that. I mean, that was a whole like mess in itself, because there was a bunch of stuff behind the scenes that caused Mixer to end. But they wanted to get into that, and even with the whole like TV, like we joke about it, but literally like every game is becoming a TV show or a movie. Like they're gonna make a God of War TV show. They already have The Last of Us, Fallout. They were gonna make a Horizon TV show. Like everything is becoming a TV show now. So it's like they knew that it was gonna happen, and people rejected it. So this is nothing new for them. Like they are ahead of the curve, just so that way they can be there when it starts to hit. And sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it takes a long time, but that's just that's how they like to operate. But conversely, for Sony, and this is like Japanese games or Japanese companies in general, they don't like to be like I guess the guinea pig. Like they like to do things how they are, and then they'll see how others are doing, and then they'll do it if it's successful for them. So that's essentially what Sony's doing now. Like literally everything that they've done within the past few years, Xbox has done like 10 years ago. Like the move to PC, the subscription service, the porting games to other consoles. Like that's that Xbox did that already. So if you follow the breadcrumbs and you see what Xbox did and what they're doing now, you can conclude that PlayStation will do the same thing. And I've had many back and forth with people about this, and they're in complete denial that PlayStation is never going to do this. Like how many times have they said PlayStation is never going to do this, and then they do it? So like PlayStation is never going to bring games to PC. They bring games to PC. PlayStation is never going to bring games day and date to PC. They bring games day and date to PC. Oh, Xbox or PlayStation is never going to bring single player games day and date to PC. Like come on. Like it's gonna happen. Like you gotta stop saying this stuff. Like they're following the trends just in a staggered sense. So yeah, Sony is gonna do this stuff. It's just a matter of time. It's not a if, it's a when.
Yeah, it's a win because they're gonna do it. You know, they have all the incentive in the world to continue doing it. You know, they want to make more money. This is how they're gonna do it. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
And I think with their whole PC expansion, it's not producing as much as they wanted it to. I mean, for certain games, like if you look at Helldivers, like I mean, PC is holding up Helldivers like single-handedly. Nobody's playing on PlayStation anymore. But obviously, like the market dictates growth, so they're gonna have to do something to grow their user base. And I mean, they're trying it with Switch. I doubt that Lego Horizon is gonna be the only Switch port. They're probably gonna do another game. I don't know which one, but they're probably gonna do another game. I want to say Astrobot would be it, but I don't know. I feel like that's too much PlayStation coded for it to be on Switch, but maybe they'll make adjustments so that way it's not too like PlayStation centric. I don't know. Or maybe they'll like switch it up to make it more Nintendo oriented. But I feel like that would.
Man, you the PlayStation fanboys and crafty.
Listen, I'm telling it like it is. They already hinted that Astrobot is coming to PC. I feel like I read somewhere that they were hinting at a PC port probably like within the next year. So
I mean, if they want to make more money, they would.
yeah. So it's like they're gonna do it. Like they're gonna expand, and the only place to expand is outside the console. They can only sell so much on the PlayStation platform. They want more. They are greedy. Like these companies are greedy. So they're gonna put it everywhere where they can make money. And that's just the truth of it.
Definitely. Let's well, you know what we'll do is we'll wrap up the Xbox news for now because we'll get back to it after this one.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Bethesda's largest union in the United States, the largest video game union in the United States, the ZeniMax Workers United (CWA), has gone on strike. The action involves workers in the ZeniMax office in Texas and Maryland who do quality assurance work for games including Fallout, Elder Scrolls. Workers on strike over claims that ZeniMax leadership has failed to address employees' issues regarding remote work and outsourcing. So from the workers themselves, so today we are on strike. We are not afraid to do what's necessary to make sure that Microsoft meets us at the bargaining table over key issues like remote work options and outsourcing. They are approximately 300 quality assurance testers, and they have over another 600 members from Activision Quality Assurance, all part of the union under Microsoft's umbrella. So it's over 900 employees went on strike to oppose outsourcing and also wanting to stay at home, working from home, giving these employees some options. And you know what? This is good. This is a good thing. That is why we wanted unions in the first place, to hold these companies accountable and make sure it's fair for the workers. Because listen, at the end of the day, Microsoft is what, like $1 trillion company. You know, they're gonna make their money no matter what. So the average everyday worker, even if it's a quality assurance worker, they need to have their fair share. And if they're gonna go on strike, I stand with them.
Absolutely. I feel like a lot of people would see this as a negative thing, but no, this is the point of unions. Like they have to be there to call out leadership when they're not delivering on their promises, like or the needs of the workers. So the fact that they are taking the action that is necessary to get the leadership to look at them and say, hey, like, okay, we'll do what you need us to do in order for you to do the best work. And that's all there is to it. Like that's what unions are for. So them going on strike, obviously on the surface it seems bad because like, oh, like it's going to affect games and stuff like that, but ultimately it's for the better good, and it'll lead to better working conditions and better and happier employees and lead to better morale and stuff like that. So I'm with you. Like this is nothing but a good thing, and anybody should see it that way.
You know what? They actually said that they won't affect any games they are releasing in or about to release. So they're more doing it for themselves within the company. the company is saying, hey, you got to come back to the office, or hey, we're going to be outsourcing some of this work. So it kind of leaves them in limbo and they feel like it's not fair. And like you said, this is exactly why we have unions today, because we want it to be fair in the workplace. We don't want these trillion-dollar companies and major corporations taking advantage of us. We want to have a say. We want to have a seat. We want to have sort of the freedom within the workplace without having to be retaliated against, or without having to worry if you're going to lose your job. There's this, especially in this economy, you want to have the best possible opportunities for you and your family, and having a union back you really helps with that situation.
Exactly. And I mean, everybody has been in a situation at their job where they felt like they were either being mistreated or weren't listened to and stuff like that. Like, that's what the union is there to address. Like, so that way you do feel heard, you do feel listened to, you do feel like your job is actually doing what's best for you. So that there's nothing wrong with this.
No, not at all. Really happy that they did this.
Yes.
And we see it may seem small to us, like, oh, you don't get to work from home, so what? But you know what? Like, after the pandemic, well, during the pandemic, many people were working from home. They were still doing the same jobs, sometimes even more productive than before. Um, and why not give them that option? Why remove that from them, making their quality of life worse? That's
Exactly.
one thing. That's one thing people have to realize. Sure, we need to work to pay our bills and stuff. I get that, but quality of life is really important, and people need to have that boundary. And if them working from home is really gonna increase that quality of life and stay there versus going into the office, then let them strike for as long as they need, because you know what, at the end of the day, we need them to be able to play and test these games for us, so that way they can come out at the best possible game. We don't want broken Ubisoft games.
Yes.
We want games that run and are good quality when they launch. And we need these workers who are striking to be at their top game. So let them do what they gotta do.
Yeah, that you said it right there. Like, why not? Like, I don't understand. If the game can be, if the job can still be done remotely, why not? Like, why are you forcing employees to come back into the office when there is no need for that? Like, clearly, I mean, granted, maybe it's a whole development time thing. Like, they want games done or quality assurance to be done at a certain time and stuff like that. Well, that's on you to figure out. Like, that's not the employee's fault. Like, you have these unrealistic timelines and deadlines. That's your fault to figure out. Like, why are you putting it on the employees to meet your unrealistic deadlines? And that's a issue plaguing the entire industry. Like, that, honestly, that's the real reason why so many games release broken. Is because the developer or the publisher is not giving the developer enough time to actually fix these games. Like, they want them to meet these deadlines. They want these games done within a few years. Like, when it doesn't take, it takes longer. Like, there's so much stuff to do, especially like with like rising cost and development costs and stuff like that. Like, there's so much to this that it can't be done in the same amount of time that it used to be, and these publishers just don't want to hear it. That's why we get so many games that they have to fix with patches and stuff like that they release prematurely, and it's so annoying. And it's a shame because, like, I mean, I say we, but like, as the gaming community tends to blame the developer rather than the publisher, and I think that's the problem. Like, we got to stop blaming the developer. They're just trying to do the best job they can within the time constraints that they do have, and it's not like they're asking for unlimited time. They just want a little bit more. Like, be realistic.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I mean, we could sit here and agree all night.
yes, yes, we could.
Yeah, we can sit here and agree all night. But you know what? This is a good thing.
It ultimately is a good thing.
Yeah, we're gonna keep up with this, and let all our listeners know if they succeeded and or if they're still on strike.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on this and see where it goes.
All right, let's get into the next bit of news. This time, more of Xbox. Phil Spencer did a big interview on Bloomberg this past week, and there was some major controversy from things that he said in the interview. And again, don't know why. So let's go over it.
Oh boy.
So Phil Spencer was did an interview on Bloomberg. They were talking about the overall business and health of Xbox and Microsoft, and just a bunch of things. And they asked of Phil Spencer about uh, one thing in particular that stood out of everything was about Xbox games or Microsoft games coming to other platforms. And his line that everybody is repeating now is there are no red lines over any Xbox game coming to other platforms, including Nintendo or PlayStation. And the internet was sort of set on fire of these theories now of Xbox is full third party now, no red lines. People talking about Halo um and Gears going to be on PlayStation. And I find it really funny and really odd for all this to happen. I mean, Phil Spencer's said it before in the past. Everything's on a case by case basis, and I don't think that's changed at all. Yes, sure, there are no red lines, but like everything is on a case by case basis. Um, th- these sort of fanboys who are out there touting the doom and gloom of Xbox every other week. It's getting annoying now. Xbox is not going anywhere. As a matter of fact, in this interview, they even talked about how they're going to continue to do more consoles. And even Phil Spencer said it himself that if they have a handheld, it's not coming out just yet. They says it's a few years out. So seemingly confirming that they're doing a handheld, they're just not happening like right this second. It's going to come out soon. So a lot of things happened with this interview that I guess people sort of just brushed over to focus on that one line he said where he said that there's no red lines over Xbox games.
Yeah, I people will hyper fixate on everything that is negative regarding Xbox. So
Definitely.
it's no surprise that they decided to focus on this stuff. So the whole no red line stuff, like you said, that yes, like they are willing to port any game that's in their portfolio. So yes, that means Halo, that means Gears, that means Fable, that means Forza. All these games that are quote unquote tentpole Xbox titles are on the table. Now, like you said, doesn't mean that it's going to happen. Like this has always been the case. Like they are in discussions for what makes sense, because that's the thing. People will see this as, oh, everything's coming now. No, that just means that they're gonna look at everything and see if it's worth porting. Now, the way I see it now, and Phil Spencer didn't obviously he's not gonna say. I mean, he even said it himself. Like it's too early to talk about like if the next Halo is gonna come. Like they just started development on that. They just went over to Unreal Engine 5, so like that's gonna take time for it to come out. I don't even expect another Halo game this generation. Probably gonna be a next gen game. But yeah, it's just the fact that people are so like focused on the idea of Halo coming to PlayStation when they're not looking at it as, okay, if they were to port it to PlayStation, what would be the benefit of doing that? Obviously, like more player base and stuff like that. But in reality, are they really gonna port a game like they're because like Phil Spencer has said in the past that like Xbox is Halo, and if they lose their way with Halo, they lose their way with Xbox, stuff like that. That's literally a quote from him. He said it many times. So like Halo is very important to Xbox. Like so they're like synonymous. So if you really think that they're gonna just port it just because, like just why not? Then like you're not paying attention. Halo is probably one of the biggest franchises in gaming, right up there with Mario, right up there with uh I would say, I mean, I guess God of War, I guess. Last of Us, like all these top tier like franchises. Halo is up there, and Halo is probably like within the top 5, like honestly, if we're being honest. So they take it very seriously. And I don't think that they're gonna just put it on any console just because like, oh, they're trying to make a quick buck. They want the player base. Like on the surface, maybe you can get like, yeah, they want money. It makes sense to do that, but there needs to be an incentive for that. Obviously, like Halo, I mean, Halo Infinite is a bad example because while they did do well, like just with Xbox and PC, the where they fell flat was with the um, the content flow. There wasn't anything after launch. And I feel like now that they see like what it takes to actually launch a Halo game, and if they want to like do it the same way, like make it free to play and stuff like that, they're gonna do it differently. So I truly believe that the only way we see a Halo game on a PlayStation console is if we see a major PlayStation franchise on an Xbox console. Like that's the only way I feel like that's gonna happen. Like they've been picking and choosing and seeing where like what games will work best. Like we see Hi-Fi Rush and the CFDs and stuff like that. Like those make sense because they're already long in the tooth in terms of like the player base that they already have. So it makes sense to try and grow that and expand and port it to different platforms. But Halo, I feel like that is the one game where they would have to get something out of it from PlayStation. So I think that's probably the end game. They're porting certain games to PlayStation to try and like entice Sony to, like I said before, Sony's not going to be the one to do it first. Even stuff like crossplay. Sony didn't want to do that. So it took What's that?
They still don't. They make
No, they
other
still
people
don't.
play. They make other people pay. Like they make Epic pay to do crossplay for PlayStation.
Yeah. So I mean, that's mostly just for like stuff that requires like paid stuff, like if you can get skins and stuff like that. But yeah, so they were dragged kicking and screaming into doing crossplay. Now most games do crossplay, where it's gotten to the point where if a game doesn't have crossplay, it's weird. So yeah, so stuff like that where like Sony is gonna do it, they're just not gonna do it first. So the fact that Xbox is porting certain games to PlayStation should be an indicator that they're trying to get PlayStation to do the same. Obviously, like it's gonna take some time. Sony's not gonna want to do it, but eventually, like we said, like they need growth. It's gonna happen. So I think eventually we could potentially see like a Halo or a Gears or a Fable on a PlayStation console, but by that time we would have already seen like maybe a God of War, maybe a Last of Us, or an Uncharted, or anything like that on an Xbox console. Like we're already seeing it kind of with like we just saw Death Stranding come to Xbox. Now, granted, that was a little bit more of a technical thing, but Sony's still making money off of that, so it's not like it's just like completely void of like Sony's approval or anything like that. And we see it with the MLB The Show, so it's like it's a slow trickle, but it's happening, and I feel like within the next few years, it's gonna be more, and people are gonna be surprised. I don't know why they would be surprised, but they're gonna be surprised when we see more PlayStation games come over. It's just like I said, it's a matter of when, not if. So I think that's the only scenario I could see where it would make sense for Xbox to do it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're not just talking about games though. Like in this interview was very big. They talked about a lot of different things. They talked about more acquisitions.
Yes.
Wanting to acquire more. Of course, they did say that it's not going to be big acquisitions like ABK. They're going to do probably smaller ones. They want to focus on um in markets where they're not really don't have a big foothold, in particular with Japan and China. I mean, after Black Myth Wukong exploding out of the gate with over 10 million downloads in like a week, they want a piece of that market. So I think they may jump into the Chinese market and start buying Chinese developers, because there is a big untapped market over there in China, that they want to get big AAA games from them, not
Yeah.
just, you know, not just like double A or even like indie titles. They want big AAA games coming out of China. So there was so much to this interview. They want to diversify. They want to get more Japanese developers. I'm worried about that because, as we saw with Tango GameWorks, they shut them down after
Yeah.
Hi-Fi Rush. So it was sort of like, do you really want, like, do they want the talent? Do they want the studios? What do they want? But they they go on to say that the Xbox business is more healthy than ever and is performing uh in a very positive way. So this Xbox is not going anywhere. There's no more. There shouldn't be any doom and gloom. Um, if you want to say this, like, Xbox has been third party since like 2017 when they started launching their games day and date on the PC and Xbox. So like it really just doesn't matter. You're gonna have your Xbox, you have your PC, you'll have a bunch of things. So you have anyway. You can play on your phone. Um, Everywhere, like we said earlier, is an Xbox. So Xbox is not going anywhere. They're gonna continue making consoles. They're gonna continue acquiring companies, and actually may even be easier to acquire companies now with the current incoming administration in the United States.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I didn't even think about that.
yeah, think about it. They're not gonna. I don't think. Was it what's her name? Lana Kong. I don't think she's gonna be there for much longer.
Probably not.
Um,
Yeah, because she was a Biden appointee.
yeah, she's. They. I mean, she may have the right to stay at her position, but she'll have a lot of fight to work with that administration. So who knows? This may be beneficial to the gaming community, just specifically for Microsoft to acquire bigger and or just do more purchases. We just never know with that. So there's a lot of stuff that came out this weekend. I just want to reiterate that the no red lines sort of quote that came out that went viral, don't worry about it. Doesn't matter. If you're already an Xbox player or you're on your PC or you want to switch to PC, it doesn't matter. It's an Xbox. You're gonna be able to play those games with Game Pass and or on your system on your phone. Relax.
Yeah,
Microsoft's not going anywhere. We're still gonna be able to play these games. Take a chill pill and just continue playing your games.
yeah. That's why I never understood when people get so upset and worried about like Xbox and stuff like that. Like, if them releasing games on different platforms is the reason for you to not get an Xbox, or like you want to sell your Xbox, or next gen you're gonna move to PC or whatever, like, do that. Go ahead. Like, that's what they're preparing for. Because like nobody, all right, I don't want to say nobody, but people aren't buying consoles anymore. Like, even with like even PlayStation, like they're stagnating. Yes, they're selling more than Xbox, but they're selling less than they did with the PS4. Like, it's just not the same. Like, they're selling to the same people, and it's only like shrinking, like, or not shrinking, but it's like it's not growing essentially. So, yeah, like, just do what you need to do. If you feel like the Xbox console is not enough anymore, get a PlayStation, get a PC, get a handheld, get a Switch. Like, if you say, oh, but the Xbox games are gonna be there anyway. Yes, they are. Go ahead, do that.
Welcome to the future.
Right, that's the point. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, go ahead, do what is best for you. And like, I don't. It's like they want to pull a gotcha on everybody. Like, they want people to feel bad about it. It's like, No, there's no reason to feel bad. Like, it's just video games. Like, it's okay. Just do what you want to do. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, let's continue. We got just a couple more things to get through. We're talking about Phil Spencer's comments on Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Talking about how it's the most popular Xbox game, most popular Call of Duty game on Xbox. They didn't announce the exact numbers, but they did say that the engagement is up, and it's the number Xbox is the number one place to play Call of Duty after 9 years of it being the number one place to play on PlayStation. So they broke that sort of industry record. So dating back from 2015, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 was the most played on PlayStation, and then of course it was Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 4, Modern Warfare, Black Ops Cold War, Vanguard, Modern Warfare 2, the newer one, and Modern Warfare 3, all most played on PlayStation up until now. Black Ops 6 is obviously launching on Game Pass has helped them tremendously. Being the most engaged on Xbox and is the number one place to play according to all the numbers and figures that they're showing and talking about with these journalists. And it's just like, it just makes sense. You know, you can play it literally anywhere. PC, Xbox. I could boot up my phone right now and jump into a Call of Duty match, which is absolutely wild. So yeah, of course it's gonna break that 9 year streak that PlayStation had. It's really cool to see. Everybody always talks about how Call of Duty is back, like with Xbox. It's home again, you know, because like it was originally like they had it in the 360. They had sort of the marketing rights for it, but now it is back. It is back home, as they say, after the exclusive content and marketing rights that they had, and now people are just enjoying the game, obviously, because we've been playing a lot of it. So
Yeah.
it's a really fun game. The zombies mode is awesome. The multiplayer is really fun to play. I know it's early. We always say this, and then like a year goes by or like 9 months, and we're like, oh, we're sick and tired of this. But it is really fun to play Call of Duty on Xbox.
Yes. And honestly, there's people trying to downplay this that, oh, they count the Xbox app on PC and stuff like that. But that's literally what we were just talking about. The whole ad campaign, it's an Xbox. Like if it has an Xbox logo on it, it's an Xbox. Like that's the point. They're counting everything as an Xbox, and that's literally what they're trying to do. And the fact that they got people even like from Steam to switch over, or from Battle.net to switch over to Game Pass on PC, or I mean even buying it on PC, or from PlayStation to switch to PC, like that's a huge accomplishment, because Xbox was always like the third rung in terms of like how many people play Call of Duty. Now Xbox is on top, and that's in part due to Game Pass. So if anything, this shows that putting Call of Duty on Game Pass was a success.
Yeah. I mean, it just makes sense. You think PlayStation doesn't count like MLB The Show players on Xbox in their user base? Of course they do.
Yeah.
If you booted up MLB The Show on Xbox, it says PlayStation Studios. You're being counted as a PlayStation player when you're playing that game. This is how the gaming industry works now. You are within that realm, that ecosystem. No matter where you're playing it at, you're playing their game. They're counting you as their player.
Yes.
So I don't understand how people can't grasp how things are working, how the industry has changed. People need to get over it.
Yeah, it's people just stuck in like 20 years ago. Like literally, I was watching a clip of somebody who was just saying like, oh, this is how it's been for 20 years. It's like, yeah, 20 years ago it worked. Things are different now. Like, imagine using something from 20 years ago today. Like, that's a freaking VCR. Imagine using a VCR in 2024. Like that, no, it looks silly. Like, stop it. No, like that things change. Change is good. So stop living in the past.
Yeah, definitely stop living in the past. All right, let's get to the last bit of news we got. This time we're talking about the Game Awards. So the Game Awards 2024 is set to reveal its list of nominees this Monday, with the ballots submitted by various video game publications. Ahead of the announcement, Jeff Keighley and his teams have released a clarification about who is eligible to be nominated, and they wanted to talk about exactly what they're talking about: DLCs and expansions. So the quote from Jeff Keighley is, the Game Awards aims to recognize best creative and technical work each year, respectively of the format of that content's release. Expansion packs, new game sessions, DLCs, remakes, and remasters are eligible in all categories if the jury deems the new creative and technical work worthy of a nomination. Factors such as the newness of the content, its price or value should be considered. So I guess what they're saying is that PlayStation is still gonna win, no problem, because that's all they have is remakes.
The Last of Us Part 1 is gonna get nominated.
Yes, yes. The PlayStation has nothing to worry about. They're still good. They're gonna win the game of the year. No, but seriously, in all seriousness, I guess Elden Rings, A Shadow of the Ear Tree would probably be nominated then, if that's the case.
Yeah, honestly, I think this is really shitty because if they were gonna do this last year, then the Cyberpunk DLC, Liberty Fall was not Liberty Falls,
Phantom Liberty.
Phantom Liberty. Liberty Falls is the Black Ops map. Yeah, like Phantom Liberty would have won something. The fact that it wasn't even nominated, or was it nominated? It was like best ongoing game or something like that, which made zero sense. But yeah, like it just feels like it feels like they were trying to nominate stuff and they were just like, there's not enough, or the games that they wanted to nominate weren't there, so they're trying to make an exception now. Like you said, for PlayStation, because the people on the panel who vote for these games happen to be PlayStation. I don't want to say they're PlayStation fanboys, but they have a preference for PlayStation. So
they're PlayStation fanboys. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, in your words, not mine. But but yeah. So it just seems like they're trying to fill a gap in some way, and yeah, I don't like it because
I honestly think they're trying to get ahead of the game here. They're letting everybody know now before anything is even nominated, or they before they put out a list of nominees, they're letting you know, listen, don't worry, your favorite PlayStation game will be nominated, even though it's a remake or remaster and or a DLC. Don't worry,
which is really shitty because I feel like there's enough games that you can nominate. Like, it doesn't have to be like remakes and stuff. Like, yeah, like remakes, you can do like best remake or best remaster or stuff like that. That can be its own category. You don't have to spread it across into other categories. Like, I don't get it. I really want, I want to understand how they do these things because it just makes zero sense.
Well, we'll never make sense of this, you know. We're not these publications that get to go out and vote, so they will have their bias and they will nominate who they nominate, and we'll just have to live with it. But we can sort of predict or nominate our own game of the year. So we'll start with you, Producer Jay. What do you think will be game of the year? Who do you nominate?
So, all right, this is gonna be tough because it's hard with the game of the year stuff because like I haven't really played a lot of these games, so like I have personal game of the years and stuff like that. But so I'm gonna put, all right. So how many games are on there? There's usually, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right?
Yeah, usually about 6.
6. All right. So let's see. So we got. I feel like Dragon's Dogma 2 has to be nominated because I'm basing it off of like hype levels and how like engagement in people and like getting into it. So I feel like Dragon's Dogma would qualify for that.
Okay.
Even though I'm not really into it, I would put Final Fantasy VII Remake on there. And I think that's probably why they're trying to do this whole remake, remaster stuff. Because they want to nominate it, but they can't because they put their own rules and now they're going to break them. It's so stupid. But yeah, I think that's the reason why. So Final Fantasy VII Remake or Rebirth, that's what it's called. Yeah, so I think that's gonna get nominated. Let's see, that's 2. Now I'm blanking on what games released this year.
You got like Stellar Blade.
No. Okay, yeah, Astrobot, I would put it up there because a lot of people got into it. It got highly reviewed, and listen, I'm not saying I won't buy it, maybe on a sale, but I feel like that's a game that I would probably like. Let's see. That's 3. You know what? I'm not gonna predict it because like there's too many games that I gotta like look into. I'm gonna say what I want. What's my personal game of the year?
Let's get into it.
Is Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Like I love that game. Like it's so good. Oh my god. I feel bad that I'm not playing it as much as I am. Like that's how you know that a game affects you. When you feel bad that you're not playing it. It's like I'm sorry. I'm gonna get to you eventually. I promise. It's like I on the Xbox I started up just to like be like it's okay. Like I got you. I'll play something else right now, but don't worry.
I mean, they did lose like 90% of its player base.
Yes, that is true. But
it doesn't make it not a great game.
It's still a really fun
game.
The amount of people still playing it is higher than any other game of the same genre, I will say.
True.
So that's something. Also, I would put, honestly, granted, maybe it's recency bias or just, I would put Call of Duty in contention for Game of the Year. I feel like it's been a long time since Call of Duty has ever been in the conversation. But I feel like for whatever reason this year is just something's different. They're hitting on all cylinders. And yeah, you still got the same people like complaining about the same bullshit that they always complain about in every Call of Duty game. But for as an overall experience, I feel like they nailed it in terms of like the Call of Duty like experience. Like like I said, the same people complain about the stuff, but I feel like it's still worthy of being nominated for Game of the Year.
Okay, that's fair. That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. I'll be honest. My list for Game of the Year is short.
It's short.
Than, yeah, like if I'm talking about like nominations, we're talking about like a Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Metaphor ReFantazio.
That's another game that I've heard a lot of people talk about, and I think maybe might get a nomination.
Yeah. And then I would say like the Final Fantasy Rebirth. Is it Rebirth? It's Rebirth.
It's Rebirth, yeah.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I think those are the nominations. I kind of hope Metaphor wins. And I say that because the genre is not as widely talked about like in other like
it's a JRPG,
yeah. So I hope like it could win on this stage. It's got rave reviews. Everybody plays it, absolutely loves it. They can't put it down. They're learning more and playing more of it. So I think if Metaphor wins, I'll be happy. I don't know if it will win. I hope that it does though. That's my sort of predictions and or what I wish would happen.
Okay. So yeah, we'll find out because the announcements are coming on Monday. So next time we're here, we will talk about the nominations and complain about games that got snubbed.
Definitely.
Yeah, but But yeah, so I definitely look forward to it. It's such a weird thing with the Game Awards. Like,
I
I
know.
hate it and I love it at the same time.
It also comes out at a weird time because so many games are not going to be considered at all that did come out this year.
Right.
Games that come out in late November, like let's say Stalker 2, Indiana Jones. There's so
Yeah.
many. Yeah, there are a lot of games that are coming out
Yeah, Stalker
that
2 comes
won't
out like
get
next week, right?
exactly next week. And then Indiana Jones comes out in December. So there's so many games that could be potentially there, but just won't be because it's not within their sort of weird time frame.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the nature of the thing. And honestly, like, I feel like if they wanted to, because they were saying, oh, it's like the Oscars of gaming and stuff. If you really want it to be like the Oscars of gaming, do it in January, do it in February, like the Oscars do. Like, so that way you can count every game that released in the year. So that way, like, games that come out in late November, December, like, don't get missed out, because they're not gonna get nominated next year. Like, that's not gonna happen.
This is exactly why PlayStation puts out their games before November.
Yes, the recency bias. They know people are gonna vote based on what they just played.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's it. That's all we have for our predictions and for this week's show.
Yes. So remember, you can like us and subscribe if you're listening to us on YouTube. If you listen to us on our podcast app, you can share, rate, and if your app allows to, comments, because we want to hear your voices. We want to discuss and talk about these stuff with you. We want to include you in the conversation. You can
argue with me in the YouTube comments.
or on the TikTok comments, because I feel like I've always get into arguments on there. But if you want to support us, you can support us by supporting our sponsors, which is W Energy, NordVPN, and Starforge Systems. We thank you and we thank them. So that'll do it for us. We will see you next week. Peace.
Later.